Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Scorpio is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we have the Hierophant. You're somebody who has a lot to offer people. I think that a lot of people kind of come to you for advice. I feel like you're kind of you're the sage of your family or of your group or your friends or at the workplace or something, right? You're like the source of knowledge for everybody. Everybody comes to you for guidance, it seems like, for advice, for wisdom, for even for kind of approval, right? It's like people really feel that if you can sanction what they're doing, then they feel better about what they're doing, you know? So I feel like a lot of people are seeking that kind of approval or even that guidance from you. So you're in some kind of a position in your life where people are looking to you to kind of lead them through something, okay? Relying on you to make the right call or to guide the ship to shore. Okay, let's put this card into a little bit of context because sometimes I feel that you're not always so happy to be in this position. See, oh, double Taurus. Double Taurus, the Prince of Pentacles. Both of these are Taurus power cards. I'd watch the Taurus reading if I were you. There's some steadfastness here. Okay, these are energies that just won't quit. You're showing up every day. You're building something. You're putting in the work. Despite anything, you're showing up. You're clocking in. You're doing what you need to do, and then you're clocking out and going home. There's no excuses. There's no I'm tired. There's just showing up. You're a very reliable person in this way too, okay? So you have a perseverance going on right now. That's, wow. We don't usually get that double shot of a power card for any sign, right? Here we have double Taurus. We have a Prince of Swords, an Ace of Cups, but an Eight of Swords. And there we have the entire universe, okay? Over here on the path of the Serpent, we start with the Princess of Wands. We have a Queen of Cups. See, a lot of court cards already now. Queen of Cups. We have a Knight of Wands, my goodness. And we have a Two of Swords. I feel kind of like that you've been pouring a lot of your heart into something. Maybe putting a lot of your energy and your care and your guidance and your concern and your leadership, your love, really pouring a lot of yourself into other people. A lot of court cards here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, half the reading is other people, yeah? Perhaps you've been putting a lot of yourself into others without replenishing your cup. Okay? And I wonder if there is now some kind of burnout, even resentment, okay? Maybe even some physical issues, health issues that might be arising if you don't kind of put up some boundaries. Maybe the Two of Swords is really about saying no. Okay? Maybe the lesson is about balance. Being able to give from a place of fullness, not a place of depletion. And when you reclaim your time and energy, when you reclaim your time and space, right? Then maybe that means that you're going to be pulling in those kinds of relationships that are going to honor your worth, that are going to help you to restore your cup. I feel like you've been showing up every day, kind of pouring out your energy into something, feeding something from your soul. And it kind of feels like that's starting to, your well is starting to run dry a little bit. It seems like you need to replenish that. Okay, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here. We're going to put Bubo, the mechanical owl, right there on top. We're not going to release that kraken until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments section down beneath the video. Now, as we look around the room, we see the two major arcana energies, the Hierophant and the World. Being the leader of the world, kind of feeling like you're responsible for everything, you know? That there is no end, that there is no boundary, there is no limit to what you have to be channeling through you and passing on to others, through your wisdom, your guidance, your leadership, etc. Okay? It kind of looks like there are no boundaries here. And so I feel that, I feel that firm boundaries now are going to prevent you from really depleting yourself. It's good to want to do everything for everybody or to help everybody. And maybe that's the Hierophant, helping everybody else. All these other family members, maybe. You can't help everybody. You can try, but only if something comes back to you and you're able to fill your cup. You have to reclaim your time, effort, energy, and money, and attract relationships that will honor your worth and your value so that you can continue to help the world, guide the world, heal the world, whatever you're doing. Okay? So we have our majors. We have fire, fire. We have water, water. We have air, air, air. And a couple of earth cards. Okay, and these two earth cards here, it's kind of like with the Prince of Pentacles showing up every day, clocking in, even when you're tired, even when you don't feel good, even when your cup is running empty, you're still out there feeding everybody else. And so the Prince here is kind of saying, like, when do you give yourself a day off? You're showing up every day regardless of how you feel, regardless of how you want to feel, regardless of what you need to feel, right? There's no limit. It's kind of like the way this looks is that there's no end. That this is just an open-ended path, that there's no kind of end game here. So the Prince of Pentacles is very dependable, very reliable. People know that they can come to you with any problem and you'll help them, whether it's through time, effort, energy, money, or space. This is time and space. Okay? This is you offering your time and space to people like it is an infinite resource, which, in theory, the universe is infinite, right? Infinite time, infinite space. But relatively speaking, it's not. It's a scarce resource. It's a non-renewable resource, time and space, for us. Maybe in the grand scheme of the universe, it's infinite. But here in this old Opry, no, it's finite. And so I feel like this is about you valuing your time and space to the point where you can put up boundaries. You could say no when you need to. You want to help everybody. It's noble. I admire that. I really do. But I think something needs to shift. I want you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you acknowledge that something needs to shift, that you've been giving too many yeses, that you've been showing up steadily, reliably for people all the time, every day. Even now, it's seeming like maybe you're being taken for granted a little bit. Maybe somebody used to come to you and ask, hey, can I borrow $1? Oh yeah, sure, of course, here's $1. Hope it helps you, To the point now where they've done that so many times that now they just come up to you and you're in your wallet or your purse getting the $1 ready. They don't even have to ask. It's Pavlov's dog, you know, that it's sort of like now they expect it. And now they, you know, anytime they show up, you're thinking, oh, okay, they need $1. Or they think that anytime that they see you now, they can ask you for something. What happens when you start saying no? Well, I feel that there's going to be a little bit of hurt feelings, you know. So once you turn off the tap, people are going to notice. That's just human nature. That's inevitable. But I think you need to conserve a little bit of your time and space for yourself. Your cup is, your cup is deep. Your well it's a deep well of love. But it is not infinite. It needs to be replenished. And I think by you reclaiming some of your time and space, you're going to attract more relationships that are going to value you and appreciate you and that are going to honor your worth. Those are the people, places, and things that you want to go ahead and give unconditionally to. Okay? So again, the Prince of Pentacles, showing up every day to the point where we don't know how to get out of that. To the point where now everybody expects it. And so the one day you don't show up, it's going to be devastating. But it's like you haven't taken a day off all year. Now people expect you to never take a day off. So then when you are sick, one day you take a personal day, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. It's only because people now expect that level of consistency, you know. It's still, you only took one day off all year. But it's because that's so unlike you that it really sticks out like a sore thumb. I feel like this is exactly what you need, though. You need to take that time for yourself. You need more boundaries. The card under the surface, Prince of Swords. This is, it's a fixed air energy. It's an Aquarius energy. To me, it feels like, it's difficult to say no because of how somebody's going to perceive that. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like you feel kind of stuck having to say yes to people. It's almost like it's hard now because there's a precedent that's been set. So now it's hard to change your mind. It's hard to say no because the expectation's already there that you're going to continue to say yes and do whatever this is, to continue showing up in this way and pouring too much energy into everybody else. And so it feels like, it kind of feels like it's an either or. There's like a false dichotomy here. That's either, you know, if you love somebody, you're going to continue to give them everything you have. So then when you say no, that means you don't love them anymore. You know what I mean? And that is that kind of false dichotomy, black or white thinking, that either or fallacy that is just not true. And I think you need to get away from that. Even if somebody else is kind of gaslighting you in that way, I think that's gaslighting, right? That when you say, no, sorry, I can't do that today, they're going to say, oh, I guess you don't love me then. I thought you loved me, right? That's an emotional manipulation. But that's exactly what the Prince of Swords is kind of believing. So I think you need to take a step away from that and realize that you setting up boundaries is not a judgment on anybody else. It's not you valuing anybody else any less. It's about you valuing you more. Does that make sense? So it's not about them. It's not about how much you love or don't love everybody else. It's about you finally showing some love to you. That's what you need right now. I want you to claim this. Tell me in the comments that you love yourself, that you value your time and your space, that you are worthy of replenishing your cup. See this Ace of Cups in the background? It always seems like this is a cup that is radiating light and love outward, right? It looks like this is a cup that is full to the point that it can't get rid of it fast enough. The more love you send out to the world, the more seems to be in there. You just can't spend the money fast enough. You know what I mean? It's pouring out of you. It's like, oh, Scorpio, they got more than they need. They're never going to run out. I can take and take and take and take as much as I want. I feel like this cup has to be a receptive vessel. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, you're sharing what you have with other people, but it's not infinite. The more you share with other people, the less there is for you. And I don't mean in terms of love or anything like that, because, yeah, maybe the more love you send out to other people, the more love you have to give, right? But it doesn't always work that way. What if you're giving your time, effort, energy, and money and space, you're giving your love to other people? What if it never really seems to come back? Imagine what kind of person that would turn us into over time. You know, we would start to really feel that we're not valued, that we're not worth anything unless we're giving something to somebody else. Okay. This cup needs to be replenished. I think the best way to replenish it is, first of all, boundaries. Close the tap a little bit. But then also to focus on those relationships that are going to reciprocate, that are going to sort of give the love back to you, you know, in the way that you need to receive it. It's people that will honor your worth. And maybe once you set boundaries and you start saying no, a lot of the people that say they were your friends, they're going to get mad. They're going to react against you. Okay, good. You know who your friends aren't. The people that kind of say, hey, good for you. Good for you. Let me know if you need anything from me. Those are your people. And so by closing the tap, you really get to sit back and see who your friends are and who they are not. And that right there is a gift. That right there is a blessing. I think that there are relationships that are not as authentic and as loving and as honoring and respectful and reciprocal as you thought. The Queen of Cups, I'm looking at our Knight of Wands next. The Queen of Cups here is processing the ending, realizing that some people need to be let go of. Okay? Because they don't value you. They're not honoring you in the right way. Okay? The air energy up above the surface too with the Eight of Swords, very similar to our Prince of Swords in this case. It is kind of an overthinking. Okay? But in a way, we kind of need that. Because this might be too simple. If I love people, I'll give them everything I have. If I don't give them everything that they ask for, it must mean I don't love them. The Eight of Swords is reminding us that things are much more complex than that. Okay, that there are shades of gray. Okay, this is a Jupiter in Gemini. It's kind of like saying we need to think more about, we need to analyze more and not make things too simple. We need to analyze these relationships, these commitments, the things that you're doing, the things into which you've been pouring your energy, right, without any replenishment. Okay. This is, in a way, it's also, if we take these two cards together, this is a return to simplicity. Because what you got to do is you got to think. You got to think and think and think and think and think. Then you got to stop thinking. You got to trust your instinct. Because it is simple in the end. This is the wrong kind of simplicity. This is a false dichotomy simplicity. This, I think, is the real simplicity. Either people value you or they don't. And if they don't, you cut them off. It's like a pair of scissors. Okay? The universe card in the future position here, this is open-ended. This is, to me, it feels like this is something that will go on forever and ever and ever unless you do something about it. Unless you make a commitment and you stick to it. I think it's a commitment to yourself and to your progress and to your work and to what you want, what you need. It's about you establishing some kind of boundaries, some kind of limit. Otherwise, it's unlimited. Otherwise, it's never going to stop. Let's say it's one person or a group of people that are always asking you for something again and again and again and again. The more you say yes, the more you're kind of creating that automatic response, or they're just going to feel now that they can, it's going to be, expected. Setting a boundary might cause a little bit of turmoil at first, but it's going to be better for you. We have to create some sort of enclosure, some sort of limit to this situation, okay? Feels like family thing. It might be coworkers, it might be certain friends, it could be a few people from everywhere, okay? I mean, we do have, in the court cards, we've got fire, water, air, and earth. So it feels like there's stuff happening at work, at home, at school, and, friends, family, and everything else. Just generally speaking, the people in your life, there are those that are taking you for granted and expecting things from you that I think are costing you too much to deliver. I want you to subscribe to this channel. Okay? I want you to say, I am worth it in the comments. If you're going to claim this, I want you to claim this destiny. Okay? Tell me which card here is resonating the most with you. Your general energy is the Princess of Wands. This is an impulse. This is kind of like, your body or your spirit kind of like wants to move in a particular direction. You feel an impulse, a spark of activity. But I think that your mind sort of shuts it down. I think in your gut, I feel like you're getting restless. I feel like that something just isn't right. But you're trying to calm this down and say, no, I'm just being impulsive. This is just kind of a reckless, spark of energy that I feel, but it's not something I should act on. Because I think like there's some part of you that knows something needs to change. Yeah. But the fixed energies, see, these are very volatile, right? Even this one's volatile. These are fixed. Taurus, Aquarius, fixed energies, fixed earth, fixed air. And so it's very difficult to get out of the groove that we're in. This is that flame inside of you that wants to get out of the groove, that knows that this is a bad cycle that we're in, a bad pattern. It's a pattern that goes round and round and round and round and round and round. There's something in you that wants to get out of that pattern. This is a spontaneity. Okay. And I feel like, in a way, you need to trust this. We kind of see a counterpart to that here with the Knight of Wands. Because the Knight is basically the princess all grown up, matured. Because this is an impulse that maybe we shouldn't trust. Because it may be reckless, right? This is an impulse that we absolutely should trust. Because we're mature, we're adults, we're responsible, we can trust our impulses. In fact, that's what this card is all about, trusting your impulse. This is about the horse and the rider becoming one unit and leaping forward in a new direction, kind of in a way leaping out of this pattern that you're in, this cycle that you're in. Taking a chance doing something different. Trusting your impulse. I think your impulse is really trying to tell you, like, you got to end this. You can't keep giving everything to everyone. Okay? I think in a way, you're risking burnout, you're risking resentment, and maybe even risking some health issues. And maybe this is that fire of kind of, all of those things. This is kind of like that fire of burnout or resentment that's just like, I can't take it anymore. This to me almost feels like an outburst. where instead of like setting up some gentle boundaries and doing everything in kind of a slow and deliberate way, this is you just kind of lashing out one day and just yelling and just saying, no, I'm not going to do it. Get out of here. Get away from me, And that's not a wrong impulse. But maybe it can be handled in a better way. Okay? Tell me right now what your impulse is telling you. What is it that your gut, what is that fire inside of you telling you to do? To cut somebody off, to give them a piece of your mind, to break them off something, to tell them to get the heck out of here. You don't want to do that because, you care about people. You want to help everybody. But this is that part of you that just wants to lash out, that just can't take it anymore. It's just too much. So before this flame really gets out of control, I think boundaries need to be established. The Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups in the environment. Okay. This is perhaps there is somebody in your life that is doing that emotional manipulation with you. Could be one person, could be several people. Saying that, if you're saying no, that must mean that you don't love me. If you loved me, you would do this for me. Who in your life is saying that to you? Say it out loud. Acknowledge that person. Acknowledge what you feel. Maybe it's something that you've never really said to yourself. You've never acknowledged that, yeah, that's the vibe this person has. That if I'm not doing anything for them, then they're maybe they're withholding the love from you, or they're using that kind of emotional manipulation. And perhaps this is that character in your life that you need to seriously rethink your relationship. Okay. This is the card in the environment. I feel like this is the number one offensive, okay? Because it's kind of somebody that feels like they don't value, they're not putting anything back in your cup. They're taking all your water and they're not putting anything back. Okay. And it may be somebody very close to you, maybe a close family member or a friend. Okay. And they've somehow manipulated you into giving to the point where you're being diminished. You're being depleted. Yeah. The Knight of Wands is trusting that impulse and trusting that whatever decisions you're making going forward are the correct decisions, that you're doing what you have to do for you. There is no hesitation, even though you know that it's going to piss some people off. Some people are not going to be all that pleased that you suddenly have boundaries. How dare you? Right? But that's just it. Daring. The daring princess of how dare you, try to replenish your cup. How dare you set boundaries and limits to me, Those aren't your people. And it's natural for you to be concerned about how people are going to receive you or react to this, or how they're going to respond to you having boundaries. Sometimes it's easier to just let things continue going how they've been going, because having boundaries is going to cause more turmoil. So sometimes it's easier to just let things happen the way they've been happening. But that's not something that can be sustained for you. Okay? So something needs to change. The Two of Swords here, to me, feels like your intuition telling you that you got to start saying more no's. You've got to start standing up for yourself, setting boundaries, cutting ties, saying no. Okay? This is about you starting to make some different decisions in your life. And I believe you're ready for this. I think that you need this. I want you to say yes in the comments. Say no to anybody that's draining your cup without appreciating it, without replenishing it, without asking anymore. Say yes to saying no. Okay? Okay, you're saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to your heart, your cup. I want to look at the mystery card. Probably some more water. Maybe an Ace of Cups. Maybe a Two of Cups, kind of showing the addition of those relationships that are going to reciprocate, the attracting of more relationships that will honor your worth. Maybe it'll be the Empress, maybe the Wheel of Fortune, maybe some more fire, maybe a Six of Cups. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, okay? Become part of our tribe here. Let's see what this card is. Oh, yeah. Look at that. The Empress. Of course it is. Because the Empress is that person that's giving blood, sweat, and tears. Giving, bending over backwards for everybody else, helping everybody else, nurturing and providing and feeding everybody else. Forgets to eat. Forgets to rest. Neglects themselves, forgets the self-care, doesn't even forget, chooses not to do the self-care because it's too busy giving to everybody else. That's what we have to start changing. It's not so much about saying no to other people, right? But about saying yes to you. It's like, I would love to help you, but I got to take care of me right now. I would love to give you my last dollar, but you know what? I need gas. I need food. I need to pay my electric bill. You know, I got to fix the damn boiler again. We have this boiler that just, it's always, I don't know, there's a leak somewhere or something. It's just always a headache. Anyway, thankfully it's not winter time yet, right? We'll hopefully get it fixed by winter. Anyway, realizing that some of your time, effort, energy, money, and or space needs to be preserved for you. It's not an infinite resource. You are not an infinite resource for other people. You need to eat some of the fruit that you've been growing, you know. By the way, really big shout out to everybody that supports this channel. I really do appreciate that. Okay, I feel absolutely blessed to have all of you here in my life and as part of this community. And I think you deserve the same kind of love and respect. Okay, the same generosity with which you're feeding everybody else, you deserve that too. Big shout out to everybody that's been buying me all the coffees lately. I see you, I appreciate you, and I'm going to find a way to buy you a coffee too. Okay? And I hope that everybody who is here feels appreciated, at least here in this space. I want you to carry that into other aspects of your life because you cannot keep depleting yourself. You want to keep giving, right? You're a giver. You want to help other people. You want to guide and lead and be of service and all that great stuff. Don't lose that. Don't become hardened, but you want to give from a place of fullness, not a place of depletion. If you deplete yourself, eventually you're going to have nothing to give anyway. You've got to pull in some of your resources. You have to set up boundaries. You have to build a little bit of a fence around your yard and say, no, this is my time. You have to set your office hours. You have to sometimes turn the sign to closed. You think of like a store, your favorite store that you love going to. You love shopping in a particular store. I love like dollar stores or like Goodwills or something, right? It's like you go there and they close at 5 and it's like, it's 4:59 and they shut the door, they lock the door, they turn the sign to closed and you think, they're closed. And you think, can you just open up for me, please? Please just open back up. And then they don't. They say, no, I'm sorry, it's 5 o'clock, I can't open. We're closed. And then you start getting mad, you start shaking the door, you start banging on the doors and you say, how dare you close when I need to buy something, you know? I need something from you. How dare you turn me away? I drove all the way down here. You wouldn't do that, would you? Why would we let somebody do that to us? Shaking the doors of our lives and saying, how dare you, how dare you close for the night? And you say, excuse me? You can get the HE double hockey sticks right out of here. And that's kind of the attitude that you need right now. Nobody should be doing that. Now they can knock, they can say, can you open up please? I'm sorry I'm late, but I need something. And you can choose to say, yeah, that's fine. Come on in, make it quick. Or you can say, no, come back tomorrow at 9 when we open again. It's okay for you to have office hours, It's okay for you to turn your phone off at a certain time and not let every phone call through. Maybe this is your business, maybe your personal life, maybe you're a teacher. You don't have to entertain everybody at all hours of the night. Maybe you have 1 or 2 people that even when you put your phone on Do Not Disturb, they can still call and get through. Those people are okay, but not everybody. You can't allow everybody to have unlimited access to you or to your resources, your time, effort, energy, money, or space. You just can't. Okay? Now, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link right below the video. New readings for Scorpio Mondays and Thursdays. Bonus reading. I can see why you needed it. I hope it resonated with you. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.